My name is Elizabeth Kuku, team lead at Least Consulting. At Least Consulting, we are all about co-creating financial solutions for you. We believe that you are unique, and whatever you are looking for it's not an off the shelf. So be it you are in business, we will work with you to get the best solution that fits you on the financial side. If you're an individual looking for investment solutions, we shall co-create that with you. We believe that once you start your wealth creation journey, it is a never-ending journey, and you should make sure that at the end of the day, you leave the finances in the right places of the people that you care for. Oh. Elizabeth is a finance investment professional with over 18 years of experience. I have worked in the pension and the fund management industry, having been in the alternative space. Started a couple of businesses, and now at a next level whereby I'm looking at running this consultancy to help people get the very best, and so that they don't have to meander a lot when they're running their businesses. So in terms of background, an actuarial scientist, mastered in finance, and currently working on my PhD thesis. So I was born in Narok, a village called Melili. Well, growing up, having been brought up by a mother who was a farmer, so my life really was about farming and going to the shamba all the time. I was lucky. My mom valued education, and we was taken to boarding school at a very early age. So when I hear people complaining about boarding schools, I'm like, I wouldn't be what I am today if it was not for the boarding school that I went to. So I went to Olentutu Arid Zone. It is in Narok South. Then from there, I was admitted to Moi Girls Eldoret, where we were pushed to be industrious ladies and push your limits all the time. After that, I was lucky to join Strathmore to do my accountancy profession. And during the process, I also joined University of Nairobi, where I did actuarial science. And having been very lucky, got my job, my internship position immediately after campus. So careers change. As I was growing up, I wanted to be an engineer, but as life would have it, I found myself in the investment and finance industry. I really did not know that it existed until when I got that internship. And I worked for AIG, which rebranded to Pinebridge and now Sanlam, as an intern in the investment field. During that time, that's when I took to undertake my the financial analysis course. So I'm a certified financial analyst, meaning that that helps me in terms of advising the clients from a theoretical and a practical perspective. So at AIG, I was an investment analyst, rose all the way to an assistant portfolio manager, and changed jobs and joined John Afric and Britam as a portfolio manager. What that means is, what I used to do then is do investment decisions on behalf of pension schemes and other institutional clients. Then I went to Britam and I changed from Britam to Cyton as one of the co-founders of Cyton, and I led the investment team and led the real estate team. And at Cyton, leading the real estate team was a little bit challenging for me because it was a new profession or a completely new field for me, but I had to lead professionals in that area. So I learned a lot within a very short period of time, whereby how do you acquire sites, how do you do the concept development, how do you exit. So for me, it's been a journey, and understanding what investments is also a key thing. And now at Least Consulting, maybe the biggest question then becomes, why did you think about Least Consulting? Over my professional life, whereby I have had to deal with pensioners or people preparing for pensions for their retirement time, oftentimes you realize that people are not ready. You have worked, you realize that you are 50 years, 60 years, you are just about to be let go maybe. So a big question comes in, what can I do to make sure that at least in a little way I can contribute to people being ready for their retirement? That's one of them. The other thing is that during the pandemic, something also was very clear. People lost their jobs, and that stable income was not there. So the question is, are we ready? So it was very clear that a couple of us were not ready in terms of losing your job. So financially, you have not really put your life in order. So then what I did is that during COVID time, I started giving talks, just as myself, not as a company or anything, just as Elizabeth. There's a way of giving back. That helped me remain sane and also challenge myself in terms of understanding this further. But now come 2021, I asked myself, what can I do with this knowledge? So I packaged this as an individual, and started now giving the talks on a more regular basis. And what I have seen is that people are really hungry for investment knowledge. People are hungry to know the basics. So people know of stock markets, but they don't know where to go to. People have heard about, let me invest in the unit trust. They really have no idea what that is. So for me, I took it upon myself and told myself, what little contribution can I make? The little contribution I can make is to give this information freely because it is readily available. But the question is, how do I package it in such a way that it makes sense? So as we started giving that information to the market or to individuals, every Wednesday at 7:30 we would meet. There are many questions. Where do I invest? With that then came one question. So fine, I'm speaking to people about investing. I'm not creating an accountability partnership sort of journey. So what then happened was myself and the team decided now to come up with a wealth creation masterclass sort of class, because at times when you don't pay for something, at times it doesn't stick. You want to come, but most of the time when you pay for something, you really want to get value out of it. So in that process, we came up with a training course called the Personal Wealth Creation Masterclass. We ran our first class in November, and I would say it was pretty successful for our first class, and we have about 6 to 7 students. That was pretty good. And in the masterclass, what we try to do is teach you how do you set your goals, because you have to start it from a very early on perspective so that you know this is what I'm working towards. So we will take you through the goal setting, take you through the various options that you have, then talk to you about taxation, talk to you about succession planning, talk to you about how do I determine who do I work with. Because at times, one of the problems that we have had or have seen in this market is that the people who are financial advisors, they actually earn money from it as well. So if I'm going to get financial advice from an insurance person, they're going to sell me insurance because that is where they make their money. If I'm going to speak to financial advising through maybe a broker, they will sell me shares because that's how they make their money. But the question is, how do I de-link from all this and don't make money out of it, but make money from giving the best sound advice? So at least consulting, that is what we are doing, and that is what the course intends to do. So that is on the individual perspective. So the other thing that we noted is that we are all eager and wants to start our own businesses. But the question is, are we starting these businesses for the future? Are we starting this business for the generations of the kids and our kids to come? And what are we doing to make sure that it is working? So we are currently working on a course called the Business Structuring Masterclass. And what we shall do is teach you, first of all, how do I start my business today? Make sure that the structures are right and focus on the right thing. And the other thing is, when you speak to many funders, people are saying, we have a lot of money to deploy. When you speak to many entrepreneurs, they're saying, atuna pesa, we really have no money to run our businesses. So when you look at the demand, the people demanding capital and the people supplying capital, there seems to be a disconnect. They're either not speaking or they're speaking different languages. So then the question then becomes, how do we make sure that they speak the same language? So what we are doing is we are training people to be investor ready. So we are working together with people like the SME Founders Association, whereby we shall come up with a course, train their members in terms of how to be investor ready. What structures do you need to put in place? How do you keep your finances? And to take this further, even provide some services, some basic services for you to help you start at a very small fee. The reason for this is that at times it is good to you can easily point out to someone, go do this. But unless you handhold that person so that they realize this is what I need to do and this is how I'm going to do it, it might not help them much. So we are looking at being completely comprehensive. My purpose is to at least leave the world a better place. And the only way I can leave the world a better place is contributing through my investment knowledge. So one of the things I don't want, I saw my mom, as we were growing up, my mom really struggled to pay school fees. I would like people to plan better for that. And my mom did not struggle because she had not. It's just because in between, there was mismanagement of finances. While I was growing up very young, had money, largest maybe was shop in the village. Shortly you don't have that, and you have to start going to the shamba. So for me, that pains me because there are so many people who have the same story, whereby one, you already have put in your life together, but at the end of the day, people are not. You end up having challenges maintaining that same lifestyle. So for me, is to make sure that people do not go through the same challenges. So when I was starting my career, it was very interesting because there was a conscious decision that they needed to hire a lady. So the internship was for ladies only, and I was lucky to be that successful lady that got a job. Was it without its challenges? I really did not understand what I was doing. But at the end of the day, one thing I told myself, they can be smarter than me, but they cannot outwork me. So it did not really matter. I had to wake up Saturday, Sunday and work. Monday would not be easier because there will be something else that I will be asked and I didn't understand. But you know what? Dust yourself and wake up and read more the next time. So for me, that was the beginning of the life of it is never going to be easy, but you can always find a way to walk around it. So the biggest challenge was I'm the person who is very flexible, and at times I do not plan my life for 5 years. I plan my life for now and the next few times that I can control. So when I started also, I really did not know about investments that much. So when I had then to enroll to do the Certified Financial Analysis course, that was not easy. But I was lucky where I worked, they actually refunded you the cash you've paid after you passed. So that was a clear motivation that you know what, you need to work harder. So doing that course was not easy, and especially now when I became a mother, that was now even double drama, but yeah, was able to cross over that. The other thing that I realized during my career, there's a lot of, I would say, power struggles within the organizations, and within the power struggles within the organization, one thing that you need to do is make sure that you let your work speak for you. No matter what politics will go around, at the end of the day, people always see the hard work and the results. And irrespective of what politics go around, people always know this is what I need to do. And I think the other challenge is, at times, being a lady, it comes with its own challenges because you have to be a mother, you have to be mother everyone. But at the end of the day, you can use it to your advantage, whereby you become the mother that they're seeing you to be. The biggest advice I would give a woman right there is, you're not weak. And the thing is, you can always use your gender to your advantage, but you have to be in the room. So I always tell people, the first point is, get yourself in the room. The way you get yourself in the room is, if there are qualifications that needs to be gotten, please be the first one to get them there. Because unless you're in the decision-making table, you'll never be heard. So there are sacrifices that come with being in the room, but you cannot wave outside. So fight to be in the room, and then from the room, direct from there. Success is living life under your terms. And I approach it from a perspective of being able to do what you want to do, with who you want to do it, at the time that you want to do it, at whatever time. So let me talk about maybe something like financial success. At times, you ask yourself, how much money is enough? And clearly there is no money that is enough. Just looking at what goes around, people, I need more money, I need more money. But what is sufficient is, can you take a holiday when you need to, without necessarily maybe going to the bank to borrow? Can your kids go to the school that you want to? No, you need them to, not that you want them to do. You're not competing with anyone. Then living your life under your terms. Then one of the things that I am also now I think as you grow older, one of the things that I'm also saying is that people want to measure success under their terms. So because maybe someone is living in XYZ, you want to live there. That is not success. Success is, am I comfortable in my skin? And what am I doing to lead the best out of it? Steps that you take to be successful. So first of all, you always have to start with plans. And for me, the plans don't have to be significantly long term. I believe in someone remaining very pragmatic, because life happens. But the question is, are you making the best decision out of what you have today? The way to make the best decision out of what you have today is looking at the pros and cons of what you have. So you have lost your job, fine. We shall cry, we are human. But at the end of the day, count your blessings by saying, I have a brain and I have maybe a little money that I can access. What is the best thing I can do for my kids to eat tomorrow? That is the starting point. So being pragmatic, planning, but even if it's short term, but be very pragmatic and knowing when to change course. Then you have to make sure that you make the right sacrifices at the right time. What do I mean by that? Maybe you want to become, let me just say, you want to become a journalist, and you're not getting into journalism school, or neither are you even hanging out with journalists. How will you ever know what it takes to take that? So be ready to be prepared, almost like move to the direction of where you want to go. And then lastly, the other thing, for you to be successful, you have to pay the price. When everybody is sleeping, imagine you have to wake up and at least do that one article that you needed to do. Then and everybody is going out. If you don't have sufficient money to do it, it's okay not to go out today, because it doesn't mean that next year you want to go out. So being principled, being disciplined, and making sure that you understand yourself is the starting point. Some of my highlights, I think being part of the team that started Saiton, for me that was a big win. And the learning point for that was perseverance. I remember when we started Saiton, you would be everything, call client, come, do everything. And for me that was humbling, because the people who you thought would talk to you never talked to you. They were not the first clients. But at the end of the day, people believe in a vision. So for me, I still believe that was a key thing for me. I think being named 40 under 40 when I was 36 years, that was a good thing. I felt so nice. So that was a good point for me. Then I think now starting this consulting, it's actually making me understand myself better. And how I started this, I went to a coach again, and I was given these personality tests to do. You discover things about yourself that you didn't know, and they actually help you understand why you even take fights with people when you need not to. So that understanding myself I should have done that earlier, but yeah, that was good. And the first time I started the PwC class, for me that was it. I felt so nice, and this is what I want to do. Some of the lessons that I have learned throughout my career. So the first thing is hard work pays, and people cannot ignore it. Then number two, it is good to be lovable. So many things can be said, but you have to have a personality that people like to associate with, and people will push for you. People will always push. If you can be able to pull people around your goal, then you achieve that much faster. Then the other thing is, people cannot ignore you if you're doing something nice. And if you're doing something nice, people will fight you as well. So if people are fighting you, just two things. I think it's just for you to make sure, ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? Am I on track? If you're on the right track, just continue. Yeah, people will come along. There's always this debate about work-life balance. For me, I'm a strong proponent of work-life integration. I cannot be able to stop now and say, now I'm a mother. From 8 to 5, I'm an employer or employee. So for me, I'm always asking myself, how can I integrate this together? So if I'm going for a business trip, the first question is like, can I carry my kids along, or how does it work? And if it's work time, the question is, can my kids also come to the office? And if it's at home, we're on holiday, I need to do a report. You know what? Go swim. Mom sits down and does what she needs to do. Because at the end of the day, all these things they have to be me. And when you fight too much about I won't work when I am with family, or I'm with family and I won't, it brings a lot of challenges. But if you enjoy and are able to integrate the two, it works. But I've also been lucky, so to speak, because I've not worked in very big organizations whereby there's a lot of bureaucracy. So I've been able to work it around, and it has worked. But at the end of the day, what I will tell someone is when you desire to do something and you desire to do it so well, the gods have a way to give it to you. I like reading and looking for topical, if I'm going through something, and I look for topical things about it. So I try a lot to read something that resonates with me. I am not a significantly fun chick to be around, going out, dancing, no. But if really I'm distressed about something at home, I think the most therapeutic thing about me is just taking my kids and just going to fight with them. I believe that at least for them, there's always something that comes with it. So for me, spending time with family is one of the things that helps me a lot. And lately, I'm actually taking more steps. I've started golfing, so I actually like that. I'm now a good swimmer, so yeah, that's at the age of 40, starting new things, interesting. Well, if you're a lady out there, don't wait to be given anything on a silver platter. You have to fight for it. But the beauty is, once you decide on what you want to do, you will get it. You just need to wake up and tell yourself, you know what, I'm not weak, I can fight it out. And you know what, you even have a bigger brain than most people, because who can be a mother, a wife, and many other things. And at the end of the day, you have to be sober and run with it. And there are many ladies doing it, so why can't it be you? My website is www.elizabethguku.com. You can follow me on my Facebook page, Elizabeth Nguku, or you can actually go to our Facebook page, Liz Consulting, or our website, on Instagram and on LinkedIn. And you have any specific questions, I'm always happy to get a WhatsApp. Please, if you send me a message, it's difficult for me to respond, but WhatsApp, I always respond. Strange world. Yeah.